This is WMNF Tampa.
The opinions presented on the Healthy Steps show are the evidence-based opinions of Dr. Fred Harvey, the callers, and his guests. These are not the opinions of the staff, the volunteers, or the board of WMNF. The information provided on the show is not intended to diagnose or treat any disease. There is no implied patient-physician relationship in these calls. The nature of the calls is educational and informational only.
Good morning, my family of friends, and welcome to the Healthy Steps radio show here on WMNF Tampa, the one and the only community-supported radio station that they ever stream in the Empyrean domain. And you too, my friend, can stream us and support us by going to WMNF.org. Today is Ask Me Anything Monday, so if you have any medical questions or concerns, just give us a call at 813-239-9663. Irene has dedicated her morning to taking your calls, so again, that number to jingle is 813-239-9663. You can also send an email to dj@wmnf.org or text us at 813-433-0885. Well, Dr. Fred, AMA always seems to allow you to bring out the best in our listeners. The well is always deep and full on AMA Monday, so let's get this show on the road. Take it away, Dr. Fred, will you?
Thank you, Bill, and happy Monday to all my Healthy Steppers.
And back at you.
So, I just wanted to make a correction. A couple weeks ago, a lovely woman asked me about a vagus nerve stimulator for stroke, and I did some research afterwards. I was thinking of the handheld vagus stimulators you use for PTSD and anxiety, but there is actually an implantable thing, like a pacemaker. You put it under the skin, you attach an electrode to the vagus nerve, and people are getting improvements in their physical function in the aftermath of a stroke that left them with paralysis on one side of their body. So yes, there is hope there with this stimulator. There's all kinds of amazing things that Western medicine keeps coming up with to help us find ways to recover from disease and illness. Sometimes they go over the top a little bit. The delusion of chasing numbers is something that I'm watching my former colleagues do quite often. I used to do it. I was really excited when new drugs were released and things like that, but I look at it all with a bit of skepticism now, because what I see is like this ever diving deeper into minutia, it seems. Cholesterol is a number that we talk about a lot. It's actually a chemical that is the backbone of all your steroid hormones, your sex hormones. It's a wonderful chemical. But in relation to health and illness, we look at our cholesterol levels as something risky. We have related cholesterol levels to heart attack death. The funny thing is, though, heart attack deaths are decreased by 90% since 1970 because of very good public awareness of what heart attack symptoms are. We've been able to prevent the acute sudden death from a heart attack. But that doesn't mean that heart disease is going away. In fact, heart disease deaths remain the principal cause of death globally. And though heart attacks have gone down, as far as death is concerned, a sudden death from a sudden heart attack is not the way people die. We can save people quite often while they're going through it. But the heart attack will diminish the function of the pump. So people can have small heart attacks, they'll survive them, but it still does damage to the heart muscle. And over time, unless the overall problem that caused it is changed, the heart muscle will continue to take small hits, damages. Heart failure, arrhythmia, and high blood pressure related deaths are actually the principal cardiac death causes now. And yet they've come up with this new drug. They always come up with these great new names too. Verve, V-E-R-V, Verve 102. Okay, so this is going to give you some verve, some energy. I don't know. What it does, they've actually shown, is that it can actually lower your cholesterol by 69%. One shot can last a lifetime. The thing is, it attacks this thing called PSCK9. That's a protein that inhibits a process in the liver that actually would create more LDL cholesterol, the one that is associated with the potential for more cardiac event. So the thing is, though, PSCK9 genetic mutations that result in familial high cholesterol, the inherited high cholesterol that causes these things, it only occurs in 2 to 5% of all heart disease related cholesterol issues. 1 in 5,000 to 1 in 10,000 people globally have this mutation. But 39% of all humans have increased cholesterol. And 4.4 million people might die actually annually due to elevated cholesterol. This was a figure from 2019. But if you look at those numbers then, out of 4.4 million, 80,000 to 200,000 would possibly be related to this PSCK9 gene. That's a lot of people. Compared to the 4.4 million, it's not relatively, it's 2%. So it's not a big section of the population, but I can guarantee you the moment they develop this drug and spend all the millions getting it into FDA approval, they're going to want to sell it to everybody that has high cholesterol. But, high cholesterol isn't a disease. High cholesterol is a symptom of other problems. High cholesterol is a symptom of toxicity in your body. Toxicity from foods, from toxins like alcohol, pesticides, herbicides. Everyone that was in Vietnam that was on the ground got exposed to Agent Orange. Agent Orange is an herbicide that causes chronic vascular inflammation. It gets trapped in your fats and it'll stay in your body most of your life. And any Vietnam vet that has heart disease actually should be on disability from the federal government because Agent Orange caused their heart disease, highly likely. I know a lot of Vietnam vets that I've cared for that have heart disease, specifically having been in Vietnam, different heart disease than most other people. And they also develop things like diabetes because Agent Orange actually triggers a process that sends you down into insulin resistance and diabetes. The problem is we don't see these things. They're in our environment everywhere. PFAS, the forever chemicals, the polyfluorinated alkyl substances that cause chronic injury to our cells, to our vascular systems. These are causing the other problems. So cardiomyopathy or a heart pump that doesn't work is the cause of heart failure. Cardiomyopathy is caused by high blood pressure and constant pressure on the heart, viral infections, toxins like alcohol and mercury and herbicides, malnutrition, lack of fish oil, lack of magnesium, lack of protein, lack of B vitamins. These will all impact your heart pump function. You can go into heart failure from lack of B vitamins. High blood pressure is related to nutrition, to lifestyle, to consciousness. Chronic stress can lead to high blood pressure because you're constantly pushing adrenaline and cortisol and probably making bad lifestyle changes based on that. Eating more carbs, drinking more alcohol to medicate the stress. Arrhythmia. Atrial fibrillation is a huge issue, and toxins cause it. So does sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is caused by toxins and other problems that interrupt your sleep, like Agent Orange causing you to be obese, developing airway obstruction, and getting sleep apnea. These things are all related to heart-associated death, but not cholesterol. So why are we pursuing having another one shot in a lifetime drug? Because nobody's willing to deal with the fact that we are a toxic society. We need to talk about this publicly and not just take artificial colors out of foods. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I think we have some people all ready to talk about it today.
Actually, we do. We've got a lineup of Jason, Bruce, and Tim, but I'm still not satisfied with that. I've got 2 more slots to fill, so I want to remind folks you're listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa, and you're encouraged to give us a call and voice your medical questions or concerns by dialing 813 239-9663 or send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. Good morning to you, Jason. What have you got for us?
Hi. So I am 49 years old. I exercise regularly. I try to eat right. I sometimes have to self-medicate with alcohol, like the doctor just mentioned. Here's my dilemma. Since my mid-30s, I have basically been unable to eat fast food or processed food. It causes major pain and digestive issues, indigestion. And here's the really gross part. Even though I did have a colonoscopy a couple of years back, and I was very disappointed that it was really done and over with really quick, and they said all clear, which I was really surprised about, because when I do eat processed foods, I literally bleed out my anus. And it's not like, using female terms, it's not like light or spotting or anything like that. It's total baby miscarriage going on down there.
So I got a question. Why do you eat fast food?
I do not. I absolutely do not anymore. I don't eat anything. Like when I go to the grocery store, I have to read everything, turn it over, read the ingredients. If it's more than like 5 things and I can't pronounce any of them, I cannot eat it, because it will cause me severe pain, discomfort, and the bleeding.
You're the canary in the coal mine. You're the person that's like the warning for all the rest of us, because what you're experiencing is what happens to everybody that eats fast food, but just on a smaller scale. Everybody gets injury to their gut from eating these non-food, tasty, food-like substances that have been designed by chemical giants to addict you to their flavors. And they are not nutritious, nor are they healthy. They are not even food. They're fast poison. Quick Swill. We can go to Quick Swell restaurants. How's that?
I'm not familiar with Quick Swell. What's that?
Quick Swill. Swill is the effluviant from a toilet, and quick is fast. Okay. So instead of fast food, it's Quick Swill.
Understood.
And so no one should be eating anything from any chain restaurant in this world, because they don't produce food. They produce profit, and you suffer for their profit.
Agreed. That said, I have a huge social circle of friends in the Tampa Bay community, and our thing is we go out to dinner and catch up and socialize, and it's very frustrating, because everywhere I go, regardless of the restaurant, I gotta grill the server, preferably like ask to see the cook, because I find that that's actually the best as far as finding out like what is, like, chicken and fish are pretty much my go-tos. Unfortunately, and this is part of the question that I wanted to ask you, it's not just fast food. I find that I have the internal discomfort and bleeding if I eat steak, pork, basically anything that's not fish or chicken or fish.
Well, if you think about our history evolutionarily, recent research suggests that we really ate fish. We weren't meat eaters. We were gatherer hunters. If we happened to run across something that was 4 legs and we happened to be able to take it down, we ate it. But in general, we ate shellfish and crustaceans and small fish and things we netted. We weren't big animal eaters. That's a fallacy. The carnivore diet is something that is a delusionary issue for Americans today. But in reality, we gather lots of food. We ate mostly plants. And so the diet that humans should eat is basically whole food plants with added animal protein. 80% to 90% plant, 10 to 20% animal.
I find that type of mixture is definitely the best. When I eat 80% vegetables and 20%, I don't suffer as much. I seem to do all right. And I guess my question is, should I be asking or requesting specific tests? Because I've talked to my friends about this. Apparently, I'm the only one that suffers in the way that, I suffer.
Right. And so what's happening is your friends are numb. They aren't paying attention because the stuff that they all eat with you, they're getting the same kind of stuff, but they're not really paying attention to it. Bet some of them have bloat, and some of them have cramps, and some of them don't feel great. But I mean, you're getting the full tilt, horrible end of it. But you have to remember that when you go to a regular restaurant, it's not a fast restaurant, they're still using processed stuff. Like one of my friends, a restaurateur, I was watching him cook one day, and he pulled this jug of stuff out of the corner and threw it into the pan where he was going to do some chicken marsala or something like that. And it was just like this emulsified goo of oils held together by emulsifiers, and it's so that the fat doesn't break in the pan, so it doesn't separate, so you can keep the sauce going. But it's got these freaking weird industrial chemicals to hold it together. And so I think your best bet, Jason, is to actually do rotating dinners. You cook one time, cook whole food. Have one of your friends cook whole food and get together and eat whole food. But if you can't do that, the best you can do at a restaurant is to get a piece of grilled fish, some steamed broccoli, and a baked potato. It's really hard to screw that up.
Right. Okay. Duly noted. I thank you for that advice. But there's otherwise no test or
well, yes, you could do, food sensitivity testing. I do it regularly for clients. Vibrant America has some really deep dive food sensitivities. Precision Point Diagnostics has a really good one that looks at how your body is actually responding toxically to it. There's some really good ways of looking at this. And yes, you could do that, but I think you're reacting to the junk in the food.
Oh, yeah, completely. It took me a long time to catch on. It started with fast food, and then slowly but surely I realized that it was, just processed foods as a whole. But
yes,
as long as like you say, as long as I cook at home, when I cook at home, I'm fine. I never have a problem, or rarely ever have a problem when I cook at home.
Right.
What I've also found is cheeses. Some straight, normal, actual cheese I can do in mild doses without a lot of repercussion. Processed cheese, American cheese, absolutely not. And unfortunately,
you have to remember that processed pasteurized dairy creates allergens in the product. So when you drink pasteurized milk, eat pasteurized cheese, you're getting these things called glycation products, where the milk protein and the milk sugar got attached chemically in a permanent bond that looks like a fungus. And so your body reacts to the milk as if it's a fungus and attacks it, probably responsible for tonsillitis and appendicitis in many people. But we don't address that because we should, though, because glycation products are what we use to track diabetes control. And the more glycation products you have in your body, the more likely you're going to have kidney failure and blindness. And so maybe we should pay attention to the glycation products in the milk that we're having children ingest, creating maybe juvenile diabetes and juvenile rheumatoid arthritis by triggering them with immunogens. Okay. There's all kinds of stuff that you can look at.
I stopped drinking milk. I used to, when I was a kid, I loved, regular full-fat, whole.
But Jason, I would suggest that if you have more questions, that you go to ifm.org and find a functional medicine doctor near you to help you wade through this.
Duly noted. Thank you for your time, sir.
You're welcome.
And thank you there, Jason. Let's go to Bruce, and then Tim, and then Lee. Good morning, Bruce.
Hello.
Hi, Bruce.
I have for about the last week, I've had some floaters in my eyes, and I was wondering about those.
How old are you?
67.
Yeah, floaters are pretty common. Floaters generally are signs that you're not hydrated enough, for one thing, because the vitreous, the goo that fills the globe of the eye, shrinks a bit and pulls away from the retina. However, if you've not had an ophthalmologist look at it yet, you should see an ophthalmologist, because floaters and retinal detachment, when they first occur, look very similar. And so it may be worthwhile to actually make sure that you're not having retinal detachment happening instead of floaters.
I have an appointment Thursday for eye doctor.
Excellent. Yeah, good move.
Are they curable?
No, floaters are just there. Once they occur, you have to kind of put up with them. But retinal detachment is the next step to blindness, and that can be fixed. So that's why you need to get evaluated if you have new onset floaters.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you there, Bruce, and good luck with that. Let's go to Tim. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning. I wanted to talk about cholesterol a little bit.
Yes, Tim.
I have been diagnosed with high cholesterol, and as you may suspect, my doctors want me to take drugs to reduce it. And I was wondering, are there other methods that I should be trying first?
Well, do you eat 30 to 35 grams of fiber in your diet every day?
Yes.
You do. That's good. Okay, so you're on the way there. Do you exercise 20 to 30 minutes every day?
Yes.
Excellent. And do you eat a plant-forward diet, 80 to 90% plant, 10 to 20% animal?
I eat a lot of vegetables, but I wouldn't say I don't know the percentage.
Okay. So you're actually doing really well. Many people don't get that far. That's the foundation. So the possibilities are that you're absorbing from your diet saturated fats and making cholesterol in your liver, or that you're just actually de novo making more in your liver. There's a test that Boston Heart does, and it's a cholesterol balance test, and it can tell you whether you're absorbing more from your diet or whether you're making more in your liver. And then there are some other things to look at. The LP lipoprotein little a, lipoprotein A, is a driver for high LDL cholesterol. And if you have that, niacin might help. If you are more of an absorber, you might want to add more fiber. There's a medication called ezetimibe or Zetia that actually helps you prevent absorption. And so there's different ways of doing this rather than just the standard statins, but it would help to actually get more biochemical information about what your cholesterol is looking like and why it's going there. Because things like insulin resistance can drive your cholesterol higher. And if you fix the insulin resistance, then you don't have a cholesterol problem.
Right. And what was that cholesterol thing? LDA or
LP little a, lipoprotein A, is a test that if you have that elevated, you're genetically driving towards a higher cholesterol. And nobody tests the PSCK9 gene that I mentioned earlier. But if you're, the way we actually recognize that is people with PSCK9 abnormalities don't respond to statin drugs. Their cholesterol doesn't go down.
Right. Well, I had reactions with muscle pain and whatnot on the statin.
Oh, okay. So that means you have a metabolic problem here, and maybe you look at it a little differently. I think, it's worth it to look a little bit deeper into the metabolism, why you have it there.
Okay. So this Boston Heart, what was that?
Boston Heart Labs, they do that. Most doctors can access that. Cleveland Heart Labs through Quest Labs does a test that looks at vascular inflammation to tell you how much of an impact the cholesterol is making on your arteries. It's a very good test. I use it all the time. Cleveland Heart Labs and Boston Heart Labs, two tests that are excellent.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day and good luck with that.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you there, Tim. Let's go to Lee. He's been waiting patiently. Good morning, Lee.
Good morning. Good morning, Doctor.
Hi there.
I was listening to your program about 2 weeks ago, and you was saying about really watch your intake of sugar.
Uh-huh.
I don't eat no sugar, period, on that. But what I do, I make a concoction every morning. I drink a real healthy thing, but I use honey. Is that good or bad?
Well, honey is added sugar, but it's better than adding, say, table sugar. So how much honey do you use?
Oh, a tablespoon.
Okay, and you do that once a day?
Yeah, every morning I make me a concoction of different healthy stuff.
Is that, you got some protein and fiber and other things in there?
Well, I'll tell you what I have. I have kale. I have cinnamon. I have olive oil. I have the honey. And then I have some ice.
Oh. So, yeah, that sounds like you're making your kale drink tolerable. If you're doing 1 tablespoon of honey a day, I don't have a big problem with it. You don't have any diabetes or any other issues going on there.
No, I had nothing like that. No. Well, should I add anything to that concoction you could recommend?
Well, I might want to add some protein powder, like some whey protein or collagen protein or some pea and rice protein, something like that, just to get some protein in there.
What else?
You could add some.
You could add some all that processed stuff that comes in a can. Anything is like, could you recommend anything else besides something that don't come in a can?
Well, you can get some peanuts and grind them up yourself, and then you have peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
There you go.
All righty. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the help.
You're welcome. Have a great day, Lee.
You too, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you there, Lee. Let's go to Cindy. Good morning, Cindy.
Hey, good morning.
Hi there.
I have a question. It's more like the insects that you find just at dusk that don't come very often. It's not ringing in my ears, it's that. And it happens most of the time, and sometimes it's louder than things, and sometimes it's very low. And then sometimes it disappears. Do you have any idea what it is?
So what you're hearing is like a buzzing in your ear.
You were correct.
Yeah, okay. Well, that is called tinnitus, Tinnitus. Tinnitus is ringing in the ear. And usually that indicates something going on with the auditory nerve. Now, it can be that you've had damage over time and hearing loss, and the noise is kind of your brain filling in the gap. On the other hand, it can be related to toxicity. So the amount of toxins in your body could actually cause changes in that buzzing. And so are you taking any medications like aspirin or anything else that might be damaging to your ear nerve?
I take the stuff for when you had a seizure. I take 2 meds for that. I take a cholesterol med, and I take a high blood pressure med. I take those 4.
And what are your seizure medicines?
Well, let me go look them up. I have them on here. They are, and I might have to spell them, Lemotrigine. That's one.
Lamotrigine.
And the other one is Levitracetam.
Levo. Spell that again for me.
Okay. And that's what
L-E-V.
they put me on after I had the last seizure. Levitracetam.
Got it. And so we know that the first one, lamotrigine, that you mentioned, is associated with ringing in the ear.
Because I've never had it before, and I've had these for quite a while.
Okay.
I had an aneurysm first, and they said the seizures were caused by me having the aneurysm.
Sure. And then we also know that levotracetam, Keppra, the other one you're on, also is associated with the symptom of ringing in the ears. I would bring this up to your neurologists to discuss this new symptom.
Okay. Let me write that down. The aneurysm took away a little of my memory stuff, you know.
Talk to your neurologist because your medications might be doing this.
because they just put me on the last one when I had the last seizure, and I don't remember anything for a whole day.
Yeah, so that
was the
when you add to the toxicity by adding another medication, that's when the symptom might come out.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll talk to him then. That sounds like a good idea because I couldn't figure out, and it was just something that's just started happening, say in the last 2 to 3 months. It's just started, and I've been taking this med for at least a couple of years.
Yeah, but something else may have happened in the last couple of months too. Think about what you've been exposed to, what maybe you've eaten, did they add a new blood pressure medicine, anything like that. Look at your history over the last couple of months when this happened, because this could be a toxic exposure since it's new. Unless you were just suddenly in some kind of loud noise event 3 months ago that triggered this.
No. And everything's still the same of, what I eat and, any toxicity things that would come in would still come in. And I eat pretty good, so I shouldn't get a lot of toxicity from my foods.
Do you eat any processed food?
Not really.
Okay. So, I would explore that with the neurologist. I'm not sure that's where you're going to find the answer, but I always look to medication first because they're proven toxins.
Okay, that sounds good. I do appreciate it.
Best wishes.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you there, Cindy, and I'm right where I like it. I guess the phrase is in the catbird seat. I've got Linus, then John, then Robert, and then Gary. Let's go to Linus. Good morning, Linus.
Thank you very much for taking my call. You're a very patient man. I just wanted to ask you a couple of things in relation to high calcium in the blood and cholesterol. Calcium is getting real high. My cholesterol is not at
How high is your calcium
level, but not at a dangerous level.
What's the calcium number?
I can't remember the number. I've got so damn many numbers in my head that.
Okay, so the question is: the calcium is the calcium above the reference range?
Yes.
Okay. So you probably have either you have kidney problem.
B12. I've got primarily a vegetable diet. My only real flaw in my eating is sugar. Cane.
All right.
Sugar. But cane sugar.
Okay. So high calcium has pretty much one cause, and that is hyperparathyroidism. And so you likely have a parathyroid tumor, and you should go and get a recheck of your calcium. If it stays over that, get a parathyroid hormone test along with it so you can correlate it.
Hypothyroidism. I've been taking since.
Okay, you're not listening. Thyroid, I'm not talking about thyroid, sir. I'm talking about parathyroid, the gland that controls calcium.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, same page.
So go to your doctor and get your doctor to do a calcium with a parathyroid hormone test, and that way you'll know if you have a parathyroid adenoma.
Okay, and if I do, what is the most natural?
Yes, please.
Lord.
Let's not do that again because it's really not that big a deal.
I'm on That's their favorite word.
We have one of the most skilled parathyroid surgical teams right here in the Tampa Bay area at the Norman Parathyroid Clinic. And they do fantastic work.
Are they related to Tampa General in any way?
They're related to the Norman Parathyroid Clinic.
All right, but are they a private investment group?
They are a doctor and his other doctor partner who have a medical practice called the Norman Parathyroid Center.
Gotcha. Okay, I don't mind those at all.
I think you'd like these because they do great work. You might even want to just call them up, but I think they'll see you until after you have a high parathyroid number. So I would go ahead and find your doctor and get him to check your parathyroid hormone level.
Down. I'll write it down right now. What is it?
P-A-R-A thyroid. Parathyroid.
Thyroid in the clinic?
Yep. Go to your doctor and ask your doctor to check the parathyroid hormone and calcium level today.
Okay. And what about the Norman? You said the Norman Thyroid Clinic?
Well, so I did mention that, but they're not going to see you until after you see your doctor and get a calcium level with a parathyroid hormone level to prove that you have a parathyroid tumor. So go see your doctor.
Got it. Because I don't need any pre-approval for anything. I'm on straight Medicaid care.
Right, but you need pre-approval from Dr. Norman to see Dr. Norman, and he won't see you unless you have these numbers.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you so very much. You guys.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
I appreciate your advice.
Good luck with that, sir.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you there, Linus. Let's go to John. Good morning, John.
Hello.
Hi, John.
How are you today?
Excellent. How are you?
Good, good. Hey, when I was about 16, I had yellow jaundice. What is the difference between that and hepatitis A, B, or C, and will you grow out of it?
So jaundice means that your liver's backed up and you have bile in your blood that gets into your skin and turns you yellow because bile's yellow. And so jaundice is a symptom of hepatitis A, B, C. It's a symptom of autoimmune hepatitis. It's a symptom of cirrhosis, a symptom of liver cancer. And so if you had jaundice at 16, it's likely you had foodborne hepatitis A. It transiently went through you, was gone in a month, and you don't have it anymore. And you probably have hepatitis A antibodies if you get a blood test.
Well, the thing about that, too, my sister and my mom had the same thing.
That sounds like y'all had hepatitis A.
Okay, so it does go out of your system?
Yeah, it lasts about a month.
Okay, well, if you have a blood test and they check your liver and stuff like that, would it show it?
Well, it would show that you had antibodies, immune reaction to an old hepatitis A infection. It probably would not show anything other than that.
Oh, okay. Okay, no, I was just wondering about that. Because somebody said I couldn't give blood because of that.
No, that's not true. You can't give blood for other reasons, but having had jaundice once many years ago, no.
Oh, okay, good, good. I'm glad to hear that. Not that I like giving blood because I hate needles, but maybe I'll start.
Yes, actually, there's always a blood shortage, so if you want to donate a pint, people will be appreciative.
Okay, Dr. Harvey, thank you very much. Have a great day.
And you. Take care.
Yep, and roll up your sleeve, John. They're always welcoming people to give blood. I've got Robert and then Gary. Let's go to Robert. Good morning, Robert.
Yes, good morning.
Hi there.
Hi, doctor. Not sure an easy way to try to get some information. I have a family member that's had probably 6 years of ongoing, pretty severe symptoms of fatigue and a lot of kind of undiagnosed things going through multiple specialists. And I know that comes up a lot. Just
how old is this person?
36. She has had some blood work showing complement and C4 levels through a rheumatologist, but kind of get to a point where the doctors don't really have any advice and trying to find a new neurologist with some of her symptoms of tingling and off balance in her leg and body and a lot of muscle aches and kind of all sorts of symptoms. But I know that's hard traditionally trying to chase symptoms and not really get to the root of issues. And
sounds like they're trying to pursue an autoimmune disease that they can't diagnose.
Yeah, and lupus has been brought up in the past, but same with fibromyalgia and really not getting any good guidance or, relief of
Has this person been evaluated for Lyme disease, for gluten sensitivity, for other triggers for these problems?
Early on, we had done a Lyme disease test, but I guess it was never really thoroughly explained, or as I understood, there can be some different levels of the the assay that goes into that can be maybe
What was there?
or not.
Was there any reactivity on the assay?
There were. I'd have to look back to from how long ago it was, and maybe repeating that test, or if there's a recommendation for like a specific, or it's just a standard test. And I know in the past the ELISA kind of bioassay panel came up. We've never done, but if that's something you think could be recommended, or something similar to try to look at, the whole system that way, or through blood work or testing.
Well, being a functional medicine practitioner, I think this person deserves a functional medicine workup rather than random tests.
Mm-hmm.
So, a functional medicine doctor approaches the person from a completely different standpoint than the symptom-chasing Western medicine illness doctor. We look at the person and get a really extensive history so we can understand where these things fall into this person's life and what may have brought it on and what may be involved in it. And so gathering information is a huge part of what functional medicine does. We spend lots of time trying to ferret out the why we got here, the how we got here, and rather than just trying to describe the what we are at and treating the what. I like to treat the why, because if we treat the why, then the what becomes irrelevant. And so, looking at a random rheumatologic test and discovering that this person can be labeled with lupus doesn't really do much overall for that person.
Yeah, that's been the hard experience of being put in some box.
Institute for Functional Medicine, ifm.org, has a physician search. You can do it in your area so you don't have to drive far.
Okay. And do you know if, as far as neurologists in the Tampa, Sarasota area, just in the meantime of trying to coordinate?
I know of no functional neurologists practicing in this area.
Okay.
And so I wouldn't bother otherwise. He needs a functional medicine workup.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for the information.
You're welcome. Have a great day and good luck with that. Hope they get better.
There you go.
Thank you there, Robert. And we're down to about the last 12 minutes here, so I'm going to give out the number one more time. You are listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey, and I've got Sarah answering the phone, so let's put her to work. Give us a call at 813-239-9663, or continue to send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. I've got Gary and Mary that are going to do it. It's your turn, too. Good morning, Gary.
Hey, close enough. This is Jerry, Doc. So I'm at work. So one of my colleagues here is dealing with gout, and I only know like sugar, alcohol, maybe meats, but I'm going to let you talk to the horse, okay?
Okay.
All right, here you go. No, talk to him. So can you he doesn't want to talk, but can you just give your advice on gout? Like, it's painful?
Well, if it's acute gout, I would go to a doctor and get some medication. Colchicine takes the pain away in hours if you do it that first day. It takes a little bit longer if you've let it roll on. And the other thing is it gout? Do we know for sure it's gout? Do we have a high uric acid level? If so, why is it high? Have you done anything to lower the gout? There's a great book that Dr. David Perlmutter wrote called Drop Acid. He's an old hippie and tried to provoke some old hippies to read a book that was about uric acid, which is the cause of gout. So my suggestion is get fructose out of your diet and read this book.
Is that it?
Yeah, pretty much so. I mean, you can control your uric acid by lifestyle changes if you just pay attention.
What about
but if you have
salads?
pain,
what about eat salads and not eat anything else? Or what about diet?
well, yeah, dietary, I just said one. Get fructose out of your diet. So if you just do salads and nothing else, you're only eating fructose and no protein, so you're probably going to get more gout.
Okay, got it, man. Is that it?
Well, we could go on for hours about it, but the bottom line is pick up the book, Drop Acid. There's so much information in there. I
love the title. Thanks, Doc.
Yeah, have a good one.
See ya.
Thank you there, Jerry. And let's go to Mary. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I love Dr. Harvey's show. My question today is, does he have any advice on hyperhidrosis? My 29-year-old son has suffered from it since he was a teen, and it doesn't seem to be, the over-the-counter topical things don't seem to be enough. And he was on an experimental medicine from USF that caused some severe gastric things a year ago, so he had to stop it. Thank you.
Yeah, some of these experimental things are really weird. So it's really a hard thing to treat. Dermatologists will tell you that because they don't actually have a really good, causation. So the question is this actually just an aberrant sweat gland working, or is this due to the nervous system? Would calming down the sweaty side of the nervous system help? And there is some evidence that doing things like mindfulness therapy, breathing exercises, and even yoga might actually somewhat control hyperhidrosis because it is related to the sympathetic nervous system tone.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah, so I think that would be a place to start since the other things are noxious and they aren't working. Try mindfulness, meditation. We control most of our manifested environment with our mind. Our consciousness drives everything. And so we can affect everything with it. We can't necessarily, I would say, cure anything with it because cure is a weird word. But we can alter the course of things. And so he may get some relief doing that.
I agree with you. Thank you. That's very helpful.
You're very welcome. Have a great day and best wishes. Keep us posted. If he does get relief, let me know.
Okay, I will. I absolutely will. Thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Well, thank you, Mary, and best wishes to your son. I've got John in Sarasota. Good morning, John.
Hi, good morning, Doctor. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
With this onslaught of the warm weather, I've found that I'm discovering that I've been very itchy lately. And I looked around at my skin, and it almost seems I almost have quite a prickly heat, but it's sort of a rash, and I got a couple of boils on my back of my leg and stuff. Not pussy boils, but just under the skin eruptions. And I feel constantly itchy, so I went to a dermatologist, and they gave me a topical cream, triamcinolone acetonide, to put it on. It quelled it a little bit, but I'm wondering if this might also be an allergy to some supplements that I've changed around. I started taking a selenium and some other Reiki mushrooms and a few different supplements that I've been taking. And I was wondering if maybe I'm getting a reaction to that.
Actually, you could be. How much selenium are you taking?
200 micrograms a day.
Well, that's not much. But
well, it does have. I did have one that I had gotten from a natural healing place that I go to, and it's called Inflamox, and it has a vitamin C element, ascorbic acid, which I don't do well with. But I'm not sure if that would cause like a sort of rashy reaction. It's spotty rash, a little
selenium. Selenium is known to actually cause a skin reaction. You can get a rash with it. You can get some other things, fatigue and gut changes. That's like really toxic selenium. So it could be related to adding the selenium. It could be, some of the vitamin C you get in supplements is from fermented fungus. Maybe there's fungal elements in it. So there's a bunch of different things, yes, that could be triggering it. It could be from food you're eating. It's hot, so you're metabolizing more, you're sweating more, so maybe some of the toxins in the food you've eaten are coming out. It could be these things you've added. Yes, I would try and do elimination of things that you've added, say, in the last month or two.
Right. Well, that's kind of what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to selectively reduce one thing or another to see if that was what I was reacting to. I didn't know. I eat peanut butter before I go to sleep at night. I don't know if it's manifesting itself as a peanut. I've always eaten peanut butter, so I don't know if it's. That's
interesting.
Like
I just read an article today that suggested that peanut allergy is on the rise in adults. that people were thinking it was food poisoning, but it was actually peanut allergy.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple of scoops with the banana before I go to sleep, and it just kind of settles my tummy, and I feel, but I don't know if I'm getting a reaction to that because I've never had this kind of like skin issue before. It's just blotch here, a little blotch there, not quite on what you'd look at and say, well, it's eczema, and it's not quite radical as like poison ivy or anything like that. But I'm just find myself constantly like itching. It's driving me.
But you've been doing the peanuts all along. The things that you added right before the rash started are the things I would eliminate first, and then keep going backwards and see what you can get.
If I go backwards anymore, I'll starve. But I guess. But no, I hear what you're saying. I'm trying to do the elimination, but I was curious if the selenium would cause an outbreak of any sort. Mostly
selenium can cause skin rash.
But maybe I was allergic to it.
And then the other thing is, you could use a homeopathic to try and eliminate it. Boiron, Boiron, is available at many health food stores, little pellets. And you could try the one that's for skin. I think it's a sulfur-based compound. See if that might help. But I would keep trying to eliminate, sir. And good luck with that.
Boiron?
Boiron, Boiron, French.
Boiron. Okay, I thought maybe it was just because I was the summer heat and I was sweating more. But
it could be that too.
Maybe it's also bringing these toxins out. And you had mentioned it something to the previous caller that maybe something was coming out of your system due to all the sweating.
Exactly. So the homeopathic helps facilitate the rest of that coming out. And so see how that works. Give it a good try. And I'm going to move on to emails now. Have a great week and let us know how it works.
Every week. I appreciate you.
Thank you. So,
what have you got?
What do I have here? This is an interesting one, long one. Broken heart syndrome. With the doc mind addressing broken heart syndrome, and herbs and vitamins that help to protect while dealing with long-term chronic stress and PTSD. Actually, there are so many different things that would work in chronic stress and PTSD, but it's different for everyone else. And, there's no one herb that's going to help. But magnesium is a very good thing that calms the system down. And when you're stressed, you use up more magnesium. So it may be worthwhile to use magnesium. Magnesium glycinate's very calming, as a just a system calmer. But meditation is truly one of the very best things to do for broken hearts. Because when you get in touch with your higher source inside, you actually can access the true relief of the broken heart syndrome. Because what you get there is unconditional love, which is the healer. And many people right now are suffering. Yes. These last several years have been extremely traumatic for our society, and it continues. And so I think that as we find groups like, the Healthy Steps group, you're listening here, you're sharing with people. And as we find more groups to support us as we go through these very troubling years, which are probably going to continue, we're going to find more solace. Unconditional love is nature's greatest healer. And in groups, we can share that love. And I appreciate everyone that calls in and contributes to this show. And I appreciate everyone that listens and hasn't called in, because I'm trying to help people find hope in a world that has a lot of darkness. And my goal is to have everyone thrive as best they can in the lives that they have been given and have chosen. So thank you, Bill. Thank you, Healthy Steppers. And thank you, Irene on the phones, and everybody involved with the WMNF family. See you next week.
Well, we thank you, Doctor, and I do think you're accomplishing your task. And I want to thank Sarah for answering the phones today. I could not do the show without her. I truly appreciate her assistance here. And to all of our listeners, thank you, and thanks for your participation. Until next week, stay healthy. Take care. You have been listening to the Healthy Steps radio show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa. Coming on up next is 5 minutes of NPR headline news, followed by the Sustainable Living Show, hosted by the bomb duo of sustainability, Annie Ellis and Tanya Vidvik. Until next Monday at 10 a.m., thank you for supporting and listening to the Healthy Steps Radio Show with Dr. Fred Harvey here on WMNF Tampa, your community conscious radio station. Stay safe, stay thoughtful, and know that you are loved.